So for this screencast, we're going to be taking a look at Smart Learning Suite Online's collaborative workspace activities. So let's begin by just creating an activity. And we're going to go with a graphic organizer just for demonstration purposes. And I'll click on the brainstorming web. Okay, so we've uploaded our graphic organizer to Smart Learning Suite Online. And again, you could do this with a PDF or a Google slideshow, but for the sake of this demonstration, we just went with a graphic organizer. And at the bottom of this slide, we have the Convert to Activity button. And if we want to make this a collaborative page, we'll click the Make This Page a Collaborative Workspace Activity button. Now, something you'll notice is that you're going to see this little green icon here with speech bubbles and the little pencil. That tells you that this is a collaborative workspace activity. And we'll hit Finish Editing. And we'll start this Smart Learning Suite Online file. All right, so we're currently in our Smart Online Learning Suite file here, and we are in a collaborative workspace. And you can see the colored pencil ring and the green icon here, so you know that this is a collaborative workspace. And for our students right now, they're just going to see that the teacher isn't running the activity until we set it up. So when we click on the Setup button, it's going to ask how many teams we would like. Now, we currently have 2 students in this classroom. So if we say everyone's on one team, essentially anyone that's in the class will all be working on the same graphic organizer or the same activity. In this case, since we have 2 people, we also have the option to select 2 teams. If we had 10 people, we'd be able to select 3 teams or 4 teams or 5. But I'm just going to show you what happens when we click on the number 2 here. And it's going to evenly distribute our students. Now again, if we had 4 students in here, we would see the other 2 names. And I just want to show you that as a teacher, I am able to actually drag and drop students into different teams. So if you don't like the matchups and the pairings, you do have the ability to move that along. So for the sake of this one, I'm going to put these 2 students on one team, and we'll just leave this one blank. And when I hit Start Workspace, I'm going to be able to see each of my groups as teams. So right now I'm looking at Team 1's graphic organizer, and anything that either of my students, Ali or Isabella, do, it is going to show up in this Team 1 workspace, and they'll be able to see each other's work, and I'll be able to comment on their work just as we would with an individual activity. Now, one thing I want to point out with collaborative workspace activities, they do not work if you are in student-paced lesson modes. They only work in teacher-paced lesson modes because they require the teacher to click that setup button and actually put everybody into a team. So if you make something student-paced, the workspace modes will not work. The same goes for if you attempt to share a lesson with students and let students access this working at their own pace. You can share a lesson with students this way, but none of the collaborative workspace activities work. So just remind yourself that collaborative workspace activities are great, but they only work when it is a teacher-paced lesson and you actually set it up to put everybody in a group.